In Nigeria, the All Progressive Congress in South Africa, represented by Bola, Babarinde, who's to my right, and Babarinde, and Dr. Emeka Ugwu is with the opposition People's Democratic Party in South Africa. Welcome to you both, and thank you so much for joining us. Let me start with you, Mr. Babarinde. You both, as parties, have been trading blame about what happened. Why do you think that the PDP is responsible for the postponement?
Yeah, initially, last time that I came here, and I said, and we believe, that this postponement was done out of maybe the INEC was not prepared. But unfortunately, revelation after the postponement revealed that PDP was very desperate, and the plan or the rigging system, they earmarked some money for the resident electoral commissioners, in states, millions of dollars. Now, they have been caught, and a lot of them are now in trouble. It's unfortunate that the PDP is so desperate to get this power at all costs, no matter what.
Dr. Ugwu, what is your response to that? And is this situation any different from what happened in 2015?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. I'll start by saying that it is very customary of APC government and the supporters to churn out a whole lot of lies about the people of Nigeria, about the opposition parties. It seems to be in their genetic makeup, lying and spreading propaganda. I would say that this situation was very much different from what happened in 2015. To start with, what this government planned to do this time around was to make sure that there's no unified election in Nigeria, where all states vote at the same time. Because it was very obvious from majority of the analysis, both from within the country and outside the country, that the present government was going to lose the election. So what they planned to do was to have a staggered election, whereby some states wouldn't have election. That's why it was deliberately made such that election materials will not be distributed. Allow me to say, election materials will not be distributed in some states.
Go to the fact.
Let me state.
Go to the fact.
Yes, I'm stating the facts. That's the fact. It was meant to be deliberate, so that election materials wouldn't be distributed in some states, such that election will hold in some states and wouldn't hold in some states. By the time they collect the results and know the difference, then they will go and do the template they did in
What are you disputing?
Yeah, what I'm saying is this. These people are riggers. They've been doing it even in 2015. They postponed election for about 6 weeks, and they were spreading money, they are giving people money left and right. It's in the news. They've been arrested. They've been arresting a lot of these the people from PDP that are bribing the umpire. And you are going to see that very soon, immediately after the election, you are going to see what's going to be happening to them.
Okay, allow me to read some of the responses from our viewers, and we'll come back to you on the question that we are asking if people have hope or think that the election will be free or fair. Wokamuloye says, free, yes. Fair, no. There's too much going on in the background, what we do not see. Both parties aren't really both parties. Personally give my vote to. Lack of political competition tends to go to the blame game only because it's two parties competing, while Ralinyo Ramapanya says it will be free and fair elections because this is not the first time elections be postponed in Nigeria. Wa Azanya Khatebe says, who cares? The West will dictate anyways. The good guy may win, but if he chooses pro-Nigeria policies, he'll be deposed through protests and unrest before his term ends. Buhari, even though sick, is still preferred by the West because of his willingness to cooperate with London, so who cares? Farida Joyce says, I think people will be terrified because of the Boko Haram attacks that take place in the country and may be scared to go out and cast their vote because of fear of being attacked. And this one is from Jackie Maputi saying, nope, elections will not be free and fair. There's too much corruption, and the fact that they even had to postpone elections makes it even more dodgy. The sense that you get from people there, but I'm wondering about the impact of the postponement. Will it not result in lower voter turnout, and in whose favor will that work in? Mr. Babarinde.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of voters initially, they felt that is going to affect, the turnout for this election. But because of the information that people are gathering now, people are seeing that. Now, let me tell you something. The former police commissioner in Lagos State from Intel told the Nigerian public that these people, the former president, Atiku, the president, the contestant, the governor of Rivers State, they connive with the INEC officials, to tamper with the card readers, and they promised them $1 million each. And that one is there. And also, a lot of ballot papers have been thumb-printed. This is not propaganda. This is what they have, and they've been arrested. A lot of ballot papers have been thumb-printed. It's the blessing for APC. It would have been a disaster if that election had gone on. Because what is happening now is that the INEC, some officials of the INEC have been bribed, and they accepted the money, and about 6 of them, they are going on trial immediately after the election. And that's a fact. It's not propaganda. I know it's going to say it's propaganda.
Let's hear from you. And why the announcement at 2 a.m., do you think? That's terrifying, and that's quite unfortunate. I wouldn't phantom the reason why it was like that, but I believe that the INEC chairman was frustrated. There's a lot of pressure on him to make sure that he delivers this election on behalf of the current administration. And I have a feeling that he didn't want to give in to that. This is the same administration where you have materials that were meant for Kebbi State, for example, that were sent to Kaduna State. And there are links there. If you look at it, Kaduna State is the same state where a sitting governor, the same governor that said that election observers that may come into Nigeria may go back in body bags. That's one. The second thing is that this is the same governor on the day before the election that raised false alarm that 66 people died in his state. It couldn't be proven by any person. There were no security officers to go and verify that. And he said people died. Somebody challenged him and said, take us to the place. You haven't answered to that charge.
Yes.
They
cannot.
It's a proven fact that there were INEC officials that were paid by you. And
No. Actually, today, INEC chairman agreed that an APC member who is a contestant in this election in Niger State, an APC member who is a contestant in this election, a senatorial contestant, is a contractor to INEC.
Let me tell you something.
How can you be an examiner and you're printing an examination card?
About Dr. Ugwu and PDP is that how can you be putting blame on the government instead of INEC? But let me tell you, how can you be doing that?
Even the Americans are blaming you. Even the American government is blaming you. Because they won't know the truth.
Forget about American government.
I cannot forget about American government because they won't know the truth.
Even they cannot even conduct their own election perfectly. Look at what happened in America.
What happened
in America is that Donald Trump, what happened? That the Russia tampered with the election. And it's a common knowledge. It's a common knowledge.
That's what is in there.
So they don't see anything wrong. They don't see anything wrong in rigging.
Has that been proven?
Okay, let's talk about the credibility of the vote. Does that mean, seeing you're both trading blame, that neither of you has faith in this election?
I've always said I don't have.
Let Mr. Babarinde answer.
Yeah, I have faith in this election because of what happened, really. I have faith because...
But how can you have faith? You're the same one that blamed the PDP of being involved in rigging INEC.
Because they've been exposed. They've been exposed now because, some of the things that they were to do last week, Saturday, there's no way they can do it. If the election was postponed for like 6 weeks or 4 weeks, they can gather their system again. But for only 1 week, there's no way they can make it. And it's a blessing for APC that the election was postponed. Initially, we were blaming them. But when the intel came, that they already perfected, because imagine, somebody that wants to be president of Nigeria, we have 36 states in Nigeria.
Is that not a contradiction in terms, though?
36 states, and only campaign in only 20 states. What is he believing? What is he confident? How can you win other 60 states?
Do you have faith in the credibility of this?
You won't have faith now. There's no way.
Lying is the part of the genetic.
How many states do you campaign?
Let me speak. As I said before, lying and generating and propagating propaganda is part of the genetic makeup of APC.
Do you have faith in
I don't have faith in this INEC, as I had said before.
That means you have lost.
How can I have faith in an INEC that somebody who is contesting an election is a contractor to it, a member of APC? How can I have faith in an election where the government has marshaled out all security officers to intimidate the people from...
Should the PDP lose the elections, what will you do?
Well, it depends on if the election was free and fair. The minimum standard people are asking for was what PDP gave them in 2015. We had less or little bloodshed in 2015. So election was free and fair. You know, people came out to vote, and we lost election, and we accepted.
In this election, what would be the litmus test for PDP to say, we believe the presence of these create credible elections?
One is that we don't want security officers to intimidate people from voting. People must be allowed to come out freely to vote. So all their soldiers that they've sent out to different sides of Nigeria must be sent back to the barracks. You don't use soldiers for elections. We're not in a war situation. That's one. The second thing is that the people who are contractors to INEC, who are APC members, they must look into such things and make sure that they correct such things. You cannot be a student and be a printer of exam question papers. That's unacceptable. The third thing is that election materials must be distributed across board equally in all states, and we must make sure that there should be normal conditions. No person should be threatened. Election must take place in all the wards at the same time, and in all the states.
Just quickly, in 30 seconds, should the APC lose power, what would you do?
First of all, there's no way we lose power because we are in control. The people love the president. What he promised, at least he has done more than 90%. Empowerment, infrastructure, education.
Okay,
but
so
in the condition, no. You see, if it happens, which it will never happen, we will accept because we believe in the INEC. Because let me tell you something.
Can you be going to an election and you say you're not sure you will lose?
He is saying that.
Can you hear what he's saying?
We are not going to lose.
Gentlemen,
we are not going to lose. You know, because what he's saying
because
is
you
that
bought
he
over
doesn't
INEC.
believe.
That's the only way you can be sure.
INEC. How can you say you are not believing in the referee? Then you better resign. You better stop. You are not
based on the facts on ground.
We know we are going to win.
I'm certain that we are going to have the conversation one more time. Thank you very much. That there is the People's Democratic Party of in South Africa, Bola Babarinde, and or rather Dr. Emeka Ugwu, and Bola Babarinde is with the All Progressive Congress in South Africa. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Well, that's it from African perspective this evening. The Globe is up next, and just a reminder that we are back again next week, Wednesday at 9:30. Good night. Thank you very much.